Hey, what's up, guys? It's Michael here from AbsolutelyArbitrary, and right now I'm kind of hoping this guy in my neighborhood does not drive by my house. He's been riding this mini motorcycle type deal for the last half an hour or so, and it hasn't been riding by my house recently, so I'm kind of hoping he stopped. Although it can be a little bit of obnoxious when he rides by because it just makes this a really annoying motor sound. I mean, you guys probably all know what I'm talking about. I don't know why he wouldn't do this at around, 4 p.m., 5 p.m. even, some point where it's daylight and so he can actually see where he's going. I'm sure there's not a light on the front of that thing, it's tiny. But, and I guess it makes sense a little bit because as it is progressively getting darker out and progressively getting later, that less people are staying off the streets just because they're inside and they're home from work, so people aren't out and about as much. So I guess the streets are less populated, but, I mean, come on. You can do that at any point in time of the day. You can do it at 8 a.m. There's nobody on the streets at 8 a.m. So, I mean, come on, compromise with us. We want peace and quiet. You want to have fun and be annoying, so do it some other time. I mean, I guess 8 a.m. doesn't work either because people are sleeping. I mean, I know I'm sleeping till, noon, 1, 2 even. So, I mean, it's kind of that summer mode for me. I'm usually up till like 4 or 5 a.m. I know it's a little bit crazy. I personally even kind of wish that it was kicked back a little bit, a few hours. I mean, if I was getting up at like 10 and going to bed at around 2, that is, a seemingly perfect time schedule for me because, you're not going to bed super early. But, I mean, let's be honest, I was going to bed at like 2 a.m. during the school year anyways, which is awesome. I'm graduated now. I have a high school diploma, and I'm going off to college in the fall, actually about a month and a half, which is really exciting. I'm, as the time gets closer to being an actual college student and going to college, you have all these orientations and meeting up with your roommate and stuff like that. I mean, I haven't personally met my roommate yet, but I do know who he is. I have contacted him. We've chatted a little bit. I'm really excited. He seems like a pretty cool kid. He's like a, really into sci-fi and whatnot, which is, I mean, I'm open to everything, so I mean, that's pretty cool. I know he plays some video games. I mean, he plays DayZ, which is a pretty current game right now. I mean, it's funny because like when he first told me about it, I had no idea what he was talking about. But then since then, it's like exploded. It's been all over Twitter and all over YouTube and stuff like that. So I don't know. It's like that one moment in time where he like happened to mention it, and now it's everywhere. So I see it everywhere. It's just like when you first, you'll go to like high school with like the same people for 4 years, and then like your senior year, you'll be in a class with somebody that you haven't been in a class with for like 3 years, and you finally learn their name or something like that, right? And then every single day for like the next week you always see them around, but for the last 3 years you haven't even recognized them in the hallway. And it's just kind of like one of those moments where, just because someone said something or brought something up or, it's relevant, it just becomes, you see it everywhere. And that's kind of the same idea for that. So yeah, I'm really excited for college and whatnot. I mean, one of the things, unfortunately though, is there's about a month and a half left summertime, and so I mean that's definitely like the crucial moment where you gotta, compact all your hanging out with friends and stuff like that, because all the senior friends are going away to college and everything else, and everybody else is kind of like still left in the city going to high school and whatnot. But like unfortunately for me, I'm moving to Boston this a little after the weekend. I think it's Tuesday. I think my mom said is it Tuesday? Yeah, I think it's Tuesday, which is really unfortunate. I mean, it's a great opportunity in the sense that like it's Boston and like you can't get bored with a giant city like that. And I mean, now I'm saying giant city. I mean, I live in Maine. The biggest city is something like 70,000 as of 2010, and then my city has between 50 and 60,000, I think. The state itself, Maine itself, has 1 million people. So I mean, you can imagine that there's more people in New York City. I mean, like, so I mean, you can imagine that just the fact that from Maine to Boston is a big transfer as far as city size and population and whatnot. So I mean, it's kind of exciting, but it really blows to have to leave everything I've known for the last 12 years. I mean, I'm not 12 years old, but I've lived in this city for, no, it's probably been 13, 14, something like that. Okay, but basically like my entire grade school has been in one city, has been in the same schools, the same school system. So I mean, like, all the friends I've learned, all the locations I've learned, it's just everything is just, even the locations, like even just like the fact that my room is no longer going to be my room is like really, bumming me out, because I love coming home and being able to go into this single room where I've created like my own like world within a room, within a box inside of a house. It's got my arrangement, my posters, my feel, my vibe. You can pick up on who I am within my room, and I'm not going to have that when we move. I guess if you want a positive spin on that, then I get to create my own new personal space and whatnot, and get to create my own environment, if you will. But I mean, that's not, I mean, Yeah, I guess a positive way of looking at things is great, but you know, you can't not think of the negative aspects of things, of leaving everything behind. And you could make the argument that yes, shortly I will be leaving behind. What was that? Ooh, that was a firework or something. I actually kind of jumped in my own chair. People could make the argument that I'm going to college, so that I'm eventually going to have to leave, you know, everything behind anyways. But the way I look at that is like I'm going to college, like I'll be excited, I'll be ready by that time, like that would be on my own terms, like I would be content with leaving because I was satisfied with the timing of it, as opposed to just kind of waking up one morning and being like, oh, you have such and such left with everybody that you currently know. And I mean, my plan is to, even after we move, is to come back up to Maine as much as possible, to hang out with people all summer. I plan on watching the Olympics with my friends. I can't wait for the Olympics to happen. I'm just kind of counting those days down. I mean, but if you want a real countdown, I mean, 10 days until The Dark Knight Rises, and that's going to be the greatest movie of all time. So, how's that for countdowns? I mean, but I don't want to leave my friends behind. They're awesome. I mean, just yesterday even, they kind of had a little going away party. I insisted on it not being called a going away party. I would have much preferred it to be kind of like a get together, if you will. I mean, regardless, it's still the same event. It's just a different title, if you will. And the reasoning behind that was for if you give it a title of like going away party, it's like people have that on the back of their mind. Like I know I will. I mean, I didn't while I was there, but just the idea of going there, knowing it was like a going away party, it's like you kind of want to. If it's just a get together, it's like more of a positive spin on it than, you know, having it being a going away party. But you know, a lot of people showed up that I didn't expect that would be there, but obviously I didn't expect them to be there because they were. I was expecting them to be doing something else. Like my girlfriend had been there, and I had imagined that she was in a different city because she has this summer program that she was going to. So I had no idea that she was going to be there, but she was, which was really awesome because it was a nice surprise. And then a couple other friends that I didn't know were there, which is you know, was awesome. But you know, we played some basketball. I may have won a game or two of knockout. I'm not gonna brag or anything. My friend, he actually plays basketball. He won 2 games, so I really don't have anything to brag about. You know, I only have half of what he got, so I mean, there you go, Cody. But eventually we ended up going inside because the bugs got kind of crazy. No one was really up for a fire. It was either a fire or a movie was the idea. You know, fires encourage conversation, but the bugs were out, and you know, we weren't sure how the fire was going to handle the bugs, and the movie would kind of, you know, settle down the conversation unless you have like a background type movie. But then we ended up playing Pokemon Master Trainer, which is a board game for anybody who doesn't know. I've been kind of eyeballing it at my friend's house for a while, but we haven't really played it until just last night. And we ended up playing for 4 hours, I believe. Is it 4? It was a long time. We started around 10 and ended around 2, which would in fact be 4 hours, but I don't know exactly when we started. The beginning looked pretty strong. We kind of weeded out, it was 4 of us playing, we kind of weeded out one of my friends. She had a really bad start, and she was going for all the weaker Pokemon because she really just couldn't keep up with the rest of us. We had a better start than her, and around the mid game I got one of the Pokemon. I forget which one I got. It was one of the flying ones. It's like it turns in from like a water type worm into one of the orange brown guy who flies. I know it's really bad that I don't remember his name. You know, shame on me. You know, all those Pokemon fans are shaking their heads right now, but we ended up playing that, and I had a good strong lead for a while, and then my friends came out of nowhere and actually got to the final area of the game and got to the final 4 plus Gary, although you're only verse 1 of them, and they're ridiculously strong, and I thought I had a chance at winning, but I just could not get the right die roll so that my movement, you have to land on a certain square to face the final battle, and if you don't get it, you have to just keep going around in circles, and I must have passed it like 7 times. And in that time period, both of the people who had a chance, and one of them I didn't think, my friend Rudy had a really great chance. We thought it was going to be between us to finish the game because we both had strong characters, and then the third person, we didn't expect her to catch up at all because she was pretty far behind, but she did catch up, and they both ended up getting to the final battle and winning the final battle. So I was left with Gary, who was the strongest, and I ended up losing after all of that time, and I thought I was going to win, and it was really upsetting. I mean, not legitimately upsetting, but I mean, I thought I was going to win. It was a great night, though. We all went home happy. And that's it for the commentary, guys. I know I must have gone over by at least 20 seconds, but I hope you enjoy the commentary. I do plan on doing this more often. I now have a setup in my room, so things should go smoothly. But thanks for listening, guys. Have a nice night.